Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about parietal bone, and here at the side you can see the diagrammatic representation of external view of parietal bone on above and internal view of parietal bone on below for the reference. So let's start our topic with introduction. Parietal bones are two large bones, curved bones, and form the major part of superior and lateral surface of skull. They are key components of cranial structures, providing protection for the brain and serving the attachment site for muscles of head. These bones are paired and symmetrical, located on either side of skull, behind the frontal bone and in front of occipital bone. Anatomical location and position of parietal bone. Each parietal bone is positioned on the sides and roof of cranium. Together, the two parietal bones join at the sagittal suture, forming the top of the skull. They are bounded by several important sutures that include sagittal suture that is present between two parietal bones, coronal suture that is present in between the parietal bone and frontal bone, lambdoid suture that is present between parietal bone and occipital bone, and squamous suture that is present between the parietal bone and temporal bone. Now let's talk about structures and features of parietal bone. Parietal bone is roughly quadrilateral in shape and has two main surfaces, external surface and internal surface, as you can see here in diagram. Four border, you can also see them in diagram, and four angles. First we will talk about surfaces of parietal bone. It has external surface that is convex and smooth. It is covered by epicranial aponeurosis. It contains the parietal eminence, that is the rounded prominence indicating the primary ossification center. Second surface of parietal bone is internal surface, that is concave, as you can see here in diagram, and it is marked by groove for meningeal vessel and impression from brain gyri. As you can see here in diagram, the impressions are clearly visible there. Now let's talk about borders of parietal bone. Borders include sagittal border, that is the point where it articulates with the opposite parietal bone. The second border is frontal border, that is a border where the parietal bone meets with the frontal bone. Third is occipital border, that is the border where the frontal bone meets with the occipital bone. And the fourth border is temporal border, that is where parietal bone articulates with the temporal bone. Now let's talk about angles of parietal bone. They include frontal angle. It is located at the bregma, that is intersection of coronal and sagittal suture. Second angle is occipital angle, that is present at the lambda, that is intersection of sagittal and lambdoid suture. Third angle is mastoid angle, that is where it joins the mastoid part of temporal bone. Fourth angle is sphenoid angle, that is where parietal bone connects with the sphenoid bone. Ossification and development of parietal bone. Parietal bone develops through intramembranous ossification, starting around the 8th week of fetal life. A single ossification center appears in the parietal eminence region. Growth radiates outward towards the border until the mode meets and fuse at the sutures during early childhood. Functions of parietal bone. First function is protection, as the primary function is to protect the brain from mechanical injury. Second function is structural support, as it forms the wall and roof of cranial cavity. Third function is attachment point, as they provide surfaces for the attachment of muscles and connective tissue. Now let's talk about associated structures of parietal bone. Associated sutures of parietal bone. Parietal bones form several key sutures. They include sagittal suture, that is where two parietal bones join. Second suture is coronal suture, that is where frontal bone joins with the parietal bone. Third is lambdoid suture, that is where parietal bone joins to the occipital bone. And the fourth is squamous suture, that is where parietal bone joins to the temporal bone. Clinical significance. First is fracture. Parietal bone is vulnerable to trauma, particularly from lateral impacts. Second significance is craniosynostosis, that is premature closure of sagittal suture, and it can lead to skull deformities such as scaphosephaly. Third significance is fontanalis. In infants, the anterior and posterior fontanalis that are soft spots located near parietal bones and are used to assess skull development and intracranial pressure. Conclusion of this lecture video. Parietal bones play a vital role in shaping the human skull and protecting the brain. Understanding their anatomy, development, and clinical importance is essential for students and professionals in medical and biological sciences. Their articulation with other cranial bones help form a strong protective framework for the central nervous system. And this was all about parietal bone. Hopefully you liked the video. If you do, don't forget to like, share, subscribe and comment. Thank you for watching.